carrying a 5-game win streak and tied for the early West lead. The renewal of a great Western rivalry. Your Rangers against the LA Angels begins next on Fox Sports Southwest. No place like home, and after a long road trip to the east, the Rangers are awfully glad to be back in the warm and friendly confines of Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. It was a long road trip, tied for the longest of the year, but now starts a long homestand, also tied for the longest of the year, and the Rangers are very excited about that. Hi there, and welcome to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Welcome to Texas Rangers Baseball. It's John Radigan and Tom Grieve here, and there were a lot of good things that happened on the road. There were some things that weren't so good, but one thing that was very consistent and very good was Michael Young.
Yeah, and I guess that shouldn't come as a surprise because that's basically what he's been for 10 years here. You know, some people wondered how would he adapt to being a designated hitter, not knowing where he was going to play. He played first a couple of times, he played second a couple of times. But one thing you know, through it all, Michael Young is going to hit. He's probably been the Rangers' most consistent hitter from day one this season. He's been driving the ball for extra bases to right center field on the season. He's hit with men in scoring position. He's got doubles. His average is .367. Doing everything you could imagine Michael Young doing, and exactly what he's been doing here for 10 years.
Yeah, and it's probably wrong, but it's everything we would expect Michael Young to be doing, and Michael Young continues to live up to lofty expectations that are set by his own previous success and by the enthusiasm of Texas Rangers fans. So it's C.J. Wilson now against Irvin Santana. We're back home, and it is time to play ball, y'all. From Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, it's the Rangers and the Angels next. Rangers so excited to get things started. We are just about ready for first pitch here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, and here it comes from CJ. And it's a strike to Myceres Torres. Beautiful night for baseball here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. As the Rangers settle in for the first of 10 at home. And it's strike two, 91 degrees at game time. And here's the scouting report on C.J. Wilson.
Has had 3 starts. ERA is under 4. 1 home run allowed in his last 68 innings at this ballpark. That's very important in this ballpark. If you can pitch and keep the ball in this park, you're way ahead of the game. Last season against the Angels, he pitched well. They only hit .217 against him, and he had a winning record, 2-1. CJ will tell you he hasn't been at his best yet. Hasn't had the power in his pitches that he normally would have, but already in this game he's thrown several pitches 92 miles an hour. That's something he hasn't done in the first 3 games. His fastball has been 88 to 90 in the first 3 games. So while it takes more than velocity to pitch well, that's a good sign.
Strike 3 called. As Torres is down on strikes. And it's time for us to show you the Southwest Airlines Angels batting order. Following is Torres to the plate tonight will be Howie Kendrick, and then Bobby Abreu, Torrey Hunter, and Vernon Wells, neither of whom have gotten off to great starts yet. Kai Ospo is the third baseman tonight, and you see the rest of them there, including Trumbo, Mathis, and Peter Borges, center fielder. And there's a strike to Kendrick. Breezy and warm here, 91 degrees as we mentioned, with a strong breeze blowing in from right center. Sort of the prevailing wind here coming from the south. There you see it. Keeping the flags at attention here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. A little outside from CJ to Howie Kendrick. Angels have won 5 straight games. A sweep of the Chicago White Sox over the weekend. Strike on the outside part of the plate. There's the Angels manager, Mike Scioscia. Scioscia just 10 wins away from 1,000. He's at 990 in his career.
I think when you talk about a short list of the best managers in baseball, he's on it. Whether you're talking 3, 4, 5, I think most people would list him as one of them.
This one's hitting to right field and in the corner, and a base hit. Kendrick rounding first and headed for second.
Kendrick is a good hitter. A lot of people thought coming into the big leagues, out of the minor leagues, he's a guy that had the potential to win a batting championship. Hasn't happened for him yet, but he's a kid that hit 340, 350, 360 every step of the way in the minor leagues. Showing some power this year. He's already got 5 home runs, and one of the hallmarks of a good hitter is he uses the whole field, one foul line to the other.
Just got it inside the foul line there, and he's on second base with 1 out, and Bobby Abreu stepping in. Bobby's already got 14 walks this season. That's got him at second place in the American League, so he will be selective up there.
He's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. Frequently he'll take a strike. And he does, obviously, to walk like he always does, he doesn't swing at many bad pitches.
Now it's 1-1 to Abreu from C.J. Wilson, who got a win in his last performance here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, the last day of the homestand. It got the Rangers to 6-0 on the season. Now they're trying to make it 11-5. That one's a little inside. A 4-5 road trip for Texas that could have been, Ron Washington said, felt pretty good about a lot of the performances there. A couple of one-run losses to the Tigers, walk-offs.
Pretty good pitch right there. That couldn't have missed by much.
Just outside to make it 3-1.
Abreu has walked 100 times in the season, 7 times. Walked 87 times last year, 94 times the year before. In his career, he's probably averaged right at 100 walks.
And there's a strike to him to run things full.
And probably one of the few guys in baseball with a lifetime on base percentage of 40%.
See Torrey Hunter waiting on deck. And he takes a walk. Inside for a ball, and they're at first and second now. And let's take a look at the Rangers defense. It's a little bit different today. Nelson Cruz in left field. David Murphy is in center, and Mitch Moreland out in right. Beltran Andrus on the left side. Ian Kinsler and Chris Davis over on the right with Mike Napoli behind the plate against his former team. And there's CD getting his first start of the season. He got called up during the road trip after Josh Hamilton was hurt. And there's a strike one to Torrey Hunter. Chris was just hitting the cover off the ball in spring training. Got a torrid start at AAA, and the Rangers determined he was the most deserving player to be called up at the time of the injury to Josh. Grounded to short.
Actually, the walk to Abreu worked out pretty well.
How about that? A twin killing to end the inning. CJ's out of it. And there's no score as the Rangers bring their big bats to the plate. Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. By Jack in the Box. Get the All-American Jack Combo for only $4.99 plus tax. And by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. And it's time for Ian Kinsler to stand in against Irvin Santana on a windy night at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. One of those nights when you expect there to be something of a jet stream with balls hit low toward right field or right center field. Balls hit high in the air, maybe not so much. And let's take a look at the scouting report on Santana.
Started 3 times and pitched well. He's given up 3 earned runs in each one of his starts. One start went 8 innings, one went 7, and the other was 6 2/3. He throws a lot of first pitch strikes. The average is 59%. He's at 68% first pitch strikes. He has a low to mid 90s fastball, curveball, changeup, and when he's really on, it's because of his slider. It can be an unhittable pitch. We've seen him shut the Rangers out. 4 of his last 5 starts, the last 5 decisions he's won with an ERA of about 2.5. So he's capable of being a really good pitcher. And he's had some really good years for the Angels. Last year he was 17-10. The year before that he was hurt and didn't pitch well, but made a nice comeback last year.
Leadoff walk to Ian Kinsler, though. And Southwest Airlines brings you the Rangers lineup. Batting behind Ian in the order is Elvis, followed by Michael, Adrian, and then Nelly. David, as we mentioned, in center field. Mike against his former team for the first time ever. Mitch Moreland and Chris Davis in the 9-hole. Moreland and Davis in the 8 and 9 spots are a pretty good potential combo down there at the bottom of the order. Here's Elvis. And he chops it to short. 1 and 2. Quick and easy double play there as we show you the Angels defense. And it's Wells, Borges, and Hunter out there. Cayaspo is Torres, Howie Kendrick, and the rookie Mark Trumbo at first base. And Jeff Mathis is behind the plate tonight.
Well, it's amazing what one sinker can do to turn around an inning for a pitcher. He walks Kinsler to start the inning. Frequently a leadoff walk leads to a big inning or at least a run. But one good sinker can turn it all around. One pitch double play, and now you've got 2 outs. He's only thrown 7 pitches to get the 2 outs.
Yeah, we saw it work for Matt Harrison in New York the other night. Got the sinking action and got all those double plays. See Harry over there. There's the 1-1 pitch on the outside part of the plate as a strike to Michael.
Yeah, if you're watching carefully, you've noticed the last 2 pitches. Those are both sliders, both perfectly located right on the outside corner and almost unhittable. There's a third one, and Michael knew he had to try to protect the plate, make some contact with that one.
Slices it foul. So it stays 1 and 2. Michael had 3 hits yesterday, including a couple of doubles against the Yankees. And he hits this one high in the air to right field. Torrey Hunter is back under it and makes the catch. And the Rangers go ultimately 1-2-3. No score after 1.
Program. All right, thank you, John. Big crowd out tonight. Also looking for a big game tonight. yesterday at the ballpark. Big happenings because the Texas Rangers hosted a Fantasy American League camp. That's right. Yesterday, Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation, a special friend, Jeremy Flew, gave about 50. That's right, 50 of their favorite American League participants a day at the ballpark. They will remember forever. They received personalized jerseys for some of the players, and former Ranger players like Ken Hill and Pete O'Brien helped out as well. Come on, Ian, get that ball. Oh, want to help out? You can do so. MLDFW.com. That's MLDFW.com. Help out a great cause. John?
Yes, very good cause, Noxie. We appreciate that very much, and we appreciate you trying to help Ian get over there to get that ball. Couldn't quite reach it, and Vernon Wells is on first base.
Yeah, Vernon off to a little bit of a slow start. 148, hasn't hit a home run yet. Last year he had a bunch of home runs right off the bat because he was playing here for the Toronto Blue Jays. And kind of single-handedly used his offense to do in the Rangers a couple of times.
Ended up with 8 homers against the Rangers last year.
Wow.
16 RBI. That was in 10 games that the Rangers played against the Blue Jays. This one's hit sky high, and Ian circling under it, and he makes the play. So Callaspo is down, and it brings up Mark Trumbo.
One thing that's become pretty common in baseball now with the giant video boards that they have showing a replay for almost every ball put in play, the hitters love to see what it looks like, and frequently when a hitter makes an out, you'll see him trotting back to the bench, looking over his shoulder up at the scoreboard to see what the swing looked like against that particular pitch. Not that they can't go in the clubhouse and look at it anytime they want, but
saves a little time, doesn't it?
Callaspo took a little look back.
Yeah.
I think he felt like he could have handled that pitch and just popped it up. He's off to a good start, hitting around 350.
Trumbo had a home run yesterday. Second of his career. Came against the White Sox. He was the Angels minor league player of the year in 2010. Fredo Griffin, the first base coach over there. And that's a strike on the outside part of the plate to the rookie.
Trumbo's a high school kid, grew up 10 minutes away from Anaheim Stadium, big Angel fan. That year you're talking about was a spectacular season. Hit 36 home runs in AAA. That'll earn you the right to play in the big leagues.
But CJ got him on 3 pitches there.
Gets him to chase a slider down and in. That's one, when you miss that, you don't look over your shoulder at the video board. You probably don't really want to see that one.
And here comes Jeff Mathis. Vernon Wells at first base, and a couple of outs for CJ here in the second inning. As we get settled in for American League West baseball. First of 19 games between 2 10-5 teams, the Rangers and the Angels.
Yeah, the Angels started out the season losing 3 out of 4 to Kansas City. They had leads late in 2 of those games and let them slip away. So even though they lost 3 out of 4, they actually were in position to win 3 out of 4. Since that time, they've gone 9-2.
Including the 5-game winning streak they are currently in. And that makes it 3 balls and 1 strike to Mathis. He has not had tremendous success against C.J. Wilson in his career. There's a strike to run it full. He's hitting just 111 against C.J. Most of C.J.'s work against the Angels as a relief pitcher, but had a good year against him a year ago in his first year as a starter. And that is a strike 3 called. Down goes Mathis to the crowd's delight. Good crowd here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. We're headed to the bottom of the second. Jay?
Well, guys, we've already seen Ian Kinsler work a walk in the first inning. Ian in a bit of a slump, batting 170 as of right now, over his last 18. But he says the important thing is to stay the course.
I'm just trying to stick with what I've been doing, and you know, grind it out as best as possible, and try to get back in a rhythm and get my timing back and get going again.
And we, of course, all know what he is capable of, starting the season with 3 home runs in his first 3 games, and maybe some offense for Adrian Beltre.
How about that? The way he was hitting yesterday, Emily, thank you very much. And he starts off with a single today. Adrian Beltre with 4 RBI last night. Second time he's done that already this year.
Yeah, Adrian's one of those guys. You might get him out for a couple of games. He might go 0 for 4, 0 for 5, a couple of games in a row. But he doesn't give in. He goes up there swinging every at-bat. And he's got the talent where sooner or later he's going to get you. And that's kind of what's happening. He went through a stretch where the hits weren't falling for him, swinging the bat pretty good. Now they are starting to fall for him.
Now it's Nelly, who stands in there against Irvin Santana. Nelly breaks his bat, hits it in the air towards center field. Borges is there to make the catch. And there's one away. Nelly in left field tonight, and here comes the center fielder, David Murphy. Ron Washington said before the game it was just a time to let Julio Bourbon take a rest. He's been grinding. Played the final 2 in Baltimore, 3 in Detroit, 3 in New York, and it was just time to get him off his feet. Also time to get Chris Davis into the lineup for the first time. And Murph hits this one the other way. Left field, going back on it and making the play as Wells.
Yeah, and that's a play over the years probably doesn't get made. I think one of the weaknesses for the Angels the last few years has been their defensive play in the outfield. And that's why Peter Borges is on the team, because he brings youth and speed to center field. And now with two center fielders playing left field and right field, the defense in their outfield is way above average now. That was a weakness for them. Now it's a strength.
Yeah, they basically have center fielders at all three positions out there now, don't they? And it's Mike Napoli. And the first pitch from anybody on the Angels to him, at least the first pitch in a competitive game against them, is a ball outside from Irvin Santana. And that one's outside to make it 2-0. Mike's catching his 4th game of the season tonight. And he's played 4 at first base to this point. This is his 8th of the year. And he waits on the 2-0 from Santana. Outside part of the plate for a strike as we take a look at the Ford leaderboard. And it is Major League catchers with the most home runs since 2008, and Mike Napoli prominent on that board. These are just home runs hit when playing catcher. Mike was the first baseman for 67 games last year, so those are just the numbers when he was catcher for the Angels and now for the Rangers as well. And he's ahead of Santana 3-1. One on with 2 out here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. A scoreless tie in Arlington. And a foul off the facing of the press box. One of the changes made around here this year was the actual roof on the press box. That one hit the window, but the roof on the press box is no longer glass. We felt it today. It was cooler in here today than it normally would be. Swing and a miss, and Napoli goes down on strikes. So the Rangers strand the leadoff single from Beltre, and there's no score after 2. Could save you 15% on car insurance. And by AT&T. Remember, it's Claw and Antler Hat Night. Fox Sports Southwest Progressive giving those away, and you see a good-looking Claw and Antler cap there to celebrate the 2010 American League champion Texas Rangers. One of the teams they beat en route to this victory was, of course, the LA Angels of Anaheim. It was just the second time in 7 years that they didn't win the division. And that's outside the Borges. It was the third time in 9 that they didn't make the playoffs. So Angels have had a stranglehold on this division as Borges swings and misses for the better part of the 2000s. Now time is called as Borges steps out and CJ gets ready for the 1-2 pitch. That one's hit hard toward left, but foul. And then we'll do it again at 1-2.
See CJ patting his chest saying, my fault. Got away with one there. There's a curveball that hung. Fortunately, Borges jumped out in front of it just a little bit.
And so now CJ will deliver another 1-2 pitch. Inside for a ball. Borges in the midst of a 5-for-30 skid. And he hits this one into right field. Goes the other way with it and finds a hole. And he's on with a leadoff single. So it brings up the top of the order again. Myceris, Izzy, as they call him. CJ with a check of the speedy Borges over there at first base. His speed, one of his best tools. That's why he's taken 2 great outfielders and put them at the corners. And that's in there for a strike. Torres struck out looking his first time up back in the first inning. Been hitting the ball well. He's off to a .383 start. That average second in the American League. And there goes Borges, but the ball is fouled.
Yeah, Torres is getting a nice chance to play with Eric Ibar on the disabled list. Ibar generally the regular.
Yeah, and they're expecting Ibar back at some point in this series. We'll see if Eric makes his way back to the active roster. Angels are here for 3 games tonight, tomorrow night, and Wednesday night. And this one's hit over the head of Ian Kinsler and into center field. Back-to-back singles to lead off the 3rd inning. And the Angels have runners at first and second. Comes Howie Kendrick.
Curveball dropped right on the outside corner, but his Torres did a nice job of waiting on it and hitting it where it was pitched. Well, CJ probably now feature that sinker trying to get the double play grounder. Got a big one in the first inning by Hunter with a couple of men on.
CJ with a walk and 3 strikeouts so far. Could use one of those too. Kendrick doubled in the first inning. And like Nelly Cruz, he has 5 home runs this season. 5 still ties you for league leadership, although the list of those tied at 5 is getting longer and longer. Cabrera, Prasada, Teixeira, Cruz, Kendrick. That ball is smashed foul down the 3rd baseline. So he's got 5 home runs already this year, Kendrick does. That after hitting only 10 in 2010. And the 5 that he has hit in the month of April is a career high for the most home runs in a month. Shows bunt. And it's 1-1. This is CJ's first start of a night game so far this year. All of his others thus far have been daytime affairs. And that makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes. Of course, the Rangers had 4 straight day games on the road trip. 1 in Baltimore, followed by 3 straight in Detroit. 1 day game in New York. And 3 of the first 6 here at home were during the day. Now it's a little more normal. 6 straight at night.
Good try. He had him with an off-speed pitch before that. Tried to throw the fastball on the inside corner. Couldn't quite get it there. Missed by a lot.
So it's 2-2 to the second place hitter. And a swing and a miss, and he got him.
Got it there that time, though. Showed him some off-speed pitches, and then when he went to get him, he went right after him with fastballs in. Missed with one. This probably would have been a strike. Kendrick missed it.
So with 1 out, here comes Bobby Abreu. He drew his 15th walk of the season his first time up, but was erased on that double play. The lefty stands in with runners at first and second. It's Torres at first. Borges at second base. And it's a first pitch ball from CJ. CJ didn't get a decision his last time out. That Detroit walk-off loss. That was the one where Miguel Cabrera hit the bases loaded single. That's grounded foul. They even things up at 1-1. And CJ checks the runners. Abreu has played 150 or more games in 13 consecutive years, which ties a major league record with only one other guy. Willie Mays, the only other guy to have played 150 or more in 13 straight years.
Yeah, in that time, he's never been on the disabled list.
Truly amazing as he swings and misses.
And a good sinker down and in. He has a lifetime 400 on base percentage. Not quite a lifetime 300 hitter. Been one of those under the radar stars in his career.
Swing and a miss.
That's some pitching right there to Kendrick and Abreu. 2 men on, nobody out. 2 good hitters up there. Struck Kendrick out with a fastball in, and he goes after Abreu with 2 sinkers down and in, carbon copies of each other, and Abreu missed them both. Both of them were pitches he swung right over. Nice job right there.
5 strikeouts already for C.J. Wilson. And now it's Torrey Hunter. He who grounded into a double play his last time up. Rangers no longer in need of that with 2 out and 2 on. And there's a strike to Hunter. At 2:12, Torrey off to a bit of a slow start for him too. He's in the midst of a 2 for 27, grounded to Beltre. He takes it the easy way and tags Borges, and the side is retired. Good pitching by C.J. Wilson, who's got 5 Ks, and here come the Rangers. Right, it's no score as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and you can follow the Rangers this season with MLB.com at @BAT11 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get spring training scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit TexasRangers.com. Actually, you might not be able to get those spring training scores anymore, but you can get regular season scores. I promise you that. Here's Mitch Moreland. Start off the bottom of the 3rd. Against Santana, who just threw his 22nd pitch. And there's a good eye by Mitch. It's 2-0. He has hit safely in 8 of his 10 games so far this year. And that one's inside. And there's Josh Hamilton. His mood is improving each day. Talked to him a little bit today, and he's just feeling better and better. He was really down and really depressed about the injury at first. You see, he's not even wearing the sling today. That's a strike as the take was on at 3-0. The humerus bone still broken. Josh just trying to let it heal. Tipped by Moreland to make it 3-2. Chris Davis waiting on deck for his first at-bat of the season at the major league level. And this one is grounded toward first. They're going to have to hurry, and they get him. Nice play over there by Trumbo, the rookie.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those in-between balls. It didn't look like Trumbo tagged the bag from way up here, but we're quite a ways from first base.
Washington seems to agree.
Yeah, I guess he did.
Looked like he did there.
His bare hand. I was watching his glove. He had the ball in his bare hand. Nice play. Didn't look like he could catch it, flip it to Santana. One of them was going to have to catch it and try to tag the bag. Trumbo took charge and was able to do that.
Nice play by the rookie as the Rangers welcome Chris Davis to the season. Another look at it here.
Ooh, boy,
it was close though, yeah.
He did touch the bag.
Yeah.
Did he touch it before Chris's foot touched the bag, I guess is Ron's question.
And a foul out of play from CD. 429 at Round Rock when he started the season with 4 home runs. He had 3 home runs in 1 game, which tied a record for that franchise. And that one is grounded foul. Last major league game for Chris was September the 30th of 2010 against these same LA Angels.
While the jury's still out on the players tonight, John, we've already had a pretty good day in the cookie department.
Boy, have we ever. Karen
Keel sent up her famous chocolate chips. Those are delicious. Becky and Tim Farrell, German chocolate cake balls. And Shirley Coast, our cookie lady.
The cookie lady.
Sent up some delicious chocolate cookies. By the way, she wants to know what your favorite cookie is.
I would say something in the butter brickle family.
Butter brickle?
Okay. They come with like little, you know, like almost like caramel chocolate chips in them.
Okay.
Something in the butter brickle family.
I don't know if she's featured that yet, but she's willing to try new things.
Yeah. Oh, she can make any cookie that you can name. So I'm sure Shirley will start working on some sort of butter brickle concoction now.
Sounds like she's been challenged.
Nice crowd here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington tonight. The 2-2 pitch. Chris Davis swings and misses. And there are 2 away. And it's time for the top of the order. Here's Ian Kinsler. Drew another walk in the first inning. Ian leads the team in that department. And he takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. 94 miles an hour from Irvin Santana in the 0-1. Just outside to make it 1-1. Low for a ball. It's 2-1 to Ian Kinsler. The Rangers leadoff man will be followed by Elvis Andrus. That one's chopped foul. And let us now check in with Emily Jones for more on Josh.
Well, John, you were talking about Josh not wearing the sling today, and I heard him talking to Eric Nadel about not wearing it. He said, really, that sling is more than anything to keep teammates and others away from, you know, maybe punching him in the arm or greeting him hello with a nice pat on the shoulder.
Ian hits this one deep. Foul. Just foul.
Just a friendly reminder to keep hands off.
Yes, it's a good idea. Imagine that. Anybody on this team would engage in hijinks or tomfoolery and hurt somebody's shoulder. But it is a good idea to stay away from that. It wouldn't be funny to hit that humerus bone right now. 2-2. Sliced. Foul.
Just missed one down one line, then down the other. That looked like it was going to hook around the foul pole. Just missed. The Rangers have had some bad luck with foul poles. Beltre just missed a 3-run homer, and then Cano hit a 2-run homer off the foul pole. Turned that game around.
This one's hit hard to left field. And Ian Kinsler is off the wall and rounding first. He's headed towards second base. Wells plays it off the wall, and it's a double for Ian Kinsler.
Well, that's good at bat right there. Seldom do you have 3 balls hit hard in one at bat. He just missed the home run. Then he just missed a double down the right field line, a hard hit line drive, and then hits a double. Past Wells, another hard hit ball. So a lot of good swings in that at bat, and an unusually large amount of good pitches to hit in one at bat from Santana. I think generally you won't see that many good pitches to hit in any at bat from Santana. But when you do, you have to make the best out of it.
And Ian Kinsler is safe at second, safe and secure. New York Life. Now it's Elvis Andrus. And he hits this one into right field. Ian Kinsler rounding third. He's headed for home. Throw to the plate, and Ian is caught and out. At home. So the side is retired. And there's no score at the end of 3 in Arlington. Is the tail end of that last play. Here's Ian Kinsler rounding third. Dave Anderson is waving. He slips just a little bit right there.
Yeah, and as well as Hunter made the throw, I don't know that it would have made a lot of difference. Ian waits and then thinks that Mathis might not make the play, but Mathis does catch the short hop.
Oh. Caught it in the bare hand. Caught it in the bare hand.
Great throw. Nice play by the catcher.
Mathis and Hank Conger have been splitting the catching duties so far for the Angels, and Mathis makes a great play there, and this one's hit hard towards Elvis. Backhands it. Long throw to first, and Chris Davis makes the put out of Vernon Wells.
Pretty play. It's one of my favorite plays in baseball. Shortstop goes deep in the hole, plants his foot, and throws a strike with something on it to first base.
What an arm. Just an absolute strike.
Hard hit ball by Wells.
Brings up Kai Aspo. Another guy off to a good start for the Angels. He's hit safely in 12 of the 14 games so far that he's played in. 15 overall for both the Angels and the Rangers.
Caspo in 2009 hit 300 for Kansas City. Not many people know that, with 41 doubles, 8 triples, 11 home runs, 73 RBIs. And he walked 52 times and only struck out 51 times. Got traded to the Angels midway through the season. Didn't hit all that well for the Angels last year, but he's a better hitter than what he showed for them.
Skies this one toward right center. David Murphy calls off Mitch Moreland and makes the play. And there are 2 away. Six pitches in the inning so far for CJ, who started the frame with 52 thrown and now faces the rookie Trumbo.
Same pitch he struck him out with right there.
I was going to say he struck out on a wicked slider the first time up, and his swing looked a little better this time, but the pitch didn't look any better to him. That one's inside for a ball. Red Sox won on Patriots Day today. Morning game played on the same day as the Boston Marathon is run, as the hometown Red Sox beat Toronto 9-1.
Red Sox are starting to play a little better. So is Tampa Bay. They're shutting out the White Sox right now. They could move to 7-9 after their terrible start. Their pitching's too good not to have a solid team this year. Lineup won't be quite the same. Their starting pitching is pretty solid. They lost 5 or 6 guys out of their bullpen too.
They did, yeah. That's where they were decimated. Soriano and Wheeler. Benoit.
Battle for the Central Division tonight. Cleveland and Kansas City.
How about that? Indians with the best record in the AL so far. Swing and a miss from Trumbo. Actually a tip, and the side is retired. 1, 2, 3 go the Angels. And there's no score headed to the bottom of the 4th. No score in the 4th inning, and it's time for our AT&T trivia question tonight. And we are wondering, who are the only 2 players in Rangers history with 30-plus steals in each of their first 2 seasons? 30-plus steals to Rangers in each of their first 2 seasons. We'll have the answer for you in the next half inning as Michael Young now stands in against Santana. Michael hits it high in the air. Deep and carrying, and back to make the catch on the warning track is Torrey Hunter.
Michael had a ball in Detroit that could have meant the difference in the game. Hit the left field that Ryan Rayburn went up over the fence to catch. This one he got a little bit of bad luck because it was hit to the right of the 377 sign where it goes out a little bit. Hunter's pretty much got this ball all the way. Jumps up, but a little bit of ways from the fence. Not that he couldn't go over the fence if he had to. He's done that many times in his career. Rangers have hit some balls hard recently off Santana. Andrus, Kinsler, and now Young.
And now it's Adrian Beltre at a solid single in the second inning.
Yeah, the way he's swinging right now, he'd be a bad guy to hang a breaking ball to.
1-1 to him. 249 in his career against the Angels, but he's got 18 homers and 75 runs batted in against LA. This one's high in the air, but shallow.
Hunter doesn't see it.
Hunter can't find it. Now he finds it and makes a little basket catch out there.
That's that type of time of night where the sky and the ball blend together. And a lot of times you'll see the outfielder call into the infielders, let me know where it is because I'm having a hard time picking it up. And when the ball went off the bat, Hunter didn't have any idea where it is. You'll see him put his arms out. Where is it? Fortunately, Kendrick knows where it is. And Hunter, I think, takes his cue off Kendrick looking up in the air, eventually located it, came in and made the play.
There's a good look at it. The sky has a whitish hue to it, even though it's almost dark.
And the balls are rubbed up with mud.
Sure.
And so they're about that same color.
And now it's Nelly Cruz.
Got a real neat entry in our sweet department tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, surprise entry. Thad Bosley's father sent up a pie. I haven't tasted it yet. It's either sweet potato or pumpkin pie.
Wow.
We're saving it for tomorrow. So, Mr. Bosley, thank you very much.
Those Bosley men are Renaissance men indeed.
Pretty impressed.
Yeah. Renaissance men indeed. Our hitting coach.
Normally the men just
Bosley.
put their name on the gift with their wives to hear their name mentioned. They don't actually do the cooking.
Right.
We're more than happy to oblige. But in this particular case, he might be a chef. Who knows?
Thad's an accomplished musician, plays a great piano. His dad's obviously something of a cook. We'll report how good tomorrow. Nelly slices that one foul. And by the way, a fan just caught Nelly's last foul ball in perfectly in the claw and antler cap. So the claw and antler cap is just a very key giveaway. In fact, do we have it here? Look at this. Right there. Right in the claw and antler cap.
Shows you it's a well-made hat.
It sure is.
Bottom didn't give out in it.
Took it right off his head, caught the ball, and
if it did, we wouldn't have showed it to you.
Now he's got 2 free souvenirs for the night as another one is fouled off. No score in the bottom of the 4th inning. There he is. Got a free hat on the way in and a foul ball to take home as well. And Nelly chops it in the hole. A base hit for Nelly Cruz.
You know, in the game where Santana shut out the Rangers, they didn't have a lot of hard hit balls. In this game, Rangers haven't scored yet, but they've hit a lot of balls hard. David Murphy, who's up right now, had a line shot up to the wall in left field. Michael's ball went to the wall in right field. Beltre's hit was a rope. Kinsler's was a double. Andrus's was well hit. Well, they're swinging the bats halfway decent tonight with not much to show for it. Took a great play by Mathis to get Kinsler at the plate on Elvis's single.
And so here's David. Homer and 4 runs batted in. And he takes a strike from Santana. 92 miles an hour. Swing and a miss by David. Santana threw 20 pitches in the last inning. He's about to throw his 15th in this frame. And he's ahead of David Murphy, 0-2. Pitch out. Nelly's staying put. And now it's a ball and 2 strikes. One is outside. And it's 2-2 to David Murphy. Book on Murphy is pretty clear. Just try to pitch him away. Murph will go with that outside pitch, though. Line it the other way. We saw him do a couple of times on the road trip. Mike Napoli waiting on deck. Nelly Cruz on first base, having ended an 0-for-10 drought. And Murphy hits this hard into right field. It's down for a base hit. Hit it so hard, Nelly's got no place to go but second.
And David's ripped the ball twice. Well, it was about as well as you can hit a ball. Hit the ball for a team and be shut out through 3 2/3. Another example of David hitting a line drive to right field, and all he needs to do is get it up a little bit. The pitch is right in his wheelhouse, right down the middle of the plate. And Santana really hasn't been that sharp within the strike zone tonight. I think he's had some good pitches to hit, and they've hit a lot of balls hard.
Santana got a no decision his last time out. He went 3 innings, or rather 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs for the Angels against Cleveland. Now he's got runners at first and second with 2 out here in the 4th inning. And his former battery mate Mike Napoli at the plate. And he starts him off with a strike. That'll even things up at 1-1. Napoli has a home run in 3 of his 7 games. This is his 8th. He's walked 6 times so far this year and struck out only twice. And the throw back to second. Nelly is back on time. Howie Kendrick snuck up behind him.
Pretty close play. Now he did get his foot in, though.
And here comes the 1-1 pitch. Irvin Santana to Mike Napoli. Swing and a miss. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Mike was asked a lot about facing his former team. Back in spring training, he called the matchup with the Angels sports hate, which is certainly different than regular hate, just sports hate. Backing off that just a little bit. It's just another game. Just another April game, which is the best way for anybody to approach this thing. Once he dropped that phrase in spring training, everybody went back to him breathlessly, seeing if he would provide some bulletin board material. But Mike wisely just said, I'm going to go out there and play another April game. That'll even things up.
Yeah, really, it's not that controversial a statement when you think about it.
No.
He's not saying he hates anybody. He likes his former teammates. But in sports, you want to beat the other team. And any player, in spite of what he says, wants to do really well against his former team. That's just human nature. But you can see how people would take it and run with it if they felt that way.
Sure. There's his former manager, Mike Scioscia. Second longest tenured manager in baseball, longest in the American League. And another former catcher among the ranks of the managerial crew. Two balls and two strikes. And that one gets away from Mathis momentarily.
The Rangers have made Santana work the last couple of innings. Napoli didn't offer at either of the breaking balls down in the dirt. Now it's 3-2, a couple of outs. The runners are going to be running.
And it'll be his 25th pitch of the inning.
Two quick innings early in the game, but the last two have been pretty long.
Yeah, 20 pitches in the third, now 24, almost 25 here in the fourth inning. And there go the runners, and it's foul back, so they'll make him work a little longer. Mike Napoli, a good hitter here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. One of the reasons why it's good that he was traded here. 309 in his career with 8 homers and 15 RBIs in 34 games here. And here comes the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Going to go at least 10, as that one is fouled into the seats.
Yeah, what you're hoping as a hitter, eventually you're going to get one right in your hitting spot and just rip it. Battle, foul off the tough ones, hang in there. Eventually the pitcher will make a big mistake.
Hang a curveball or groove a fastball.
Either one.
Yep. There go the runners again, and it's inside. Santana walked him. So he is far from out of this inning. Got 2 quick outs. Michael Young and Adrian Beltre both flew out to right field. But then back-to-back singles and a walk have the bases loaded with Rangers for Mitch Moreland. Mitch almost beat out an infield single his first time up. That was the play where Trumbo tagged the bag, and Mitch hit the ball down the first base line. Moreland has hit safely in 3 of 4 games here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington so far in 2011. Hit safely in 8 of 10 games overall that he has played in.
In a great hitting spot right here. Bases loaded, nowhere to put them. 2-0. Pitch counts approaching 30 in this inning. Looks like Santana getting a little bit tired. His command is losing it. He's losing his command a little bit right now. Has to throw a strike right here. Doesn't want to go to 3-0.
Mitch hits it back up the middle and through. It's into center field. 1 run is home. Rounding third and headed for home is David Murphy. 2 are in, and the Rangers lead it 2-0.
That's the count that makes you a good. You kind of have your season based on taking advantage of good hitters' counts. It's tough to hit when you have 2 strikes when you're behind in the count, but you make your money when you're ahead in the count. It's 2-0. He's got to throw you a strike. You're looking for a fastball. He throws a strike. You're ready for it, and he drills it right up the middle. The Rangers are really making Santana work. They're swinging the bats great. Even though those are the first 2 runs scored, they've hit a lot of balls hard, and inning's not over yet.
And watch the reaction in the dugout as this one gets through. Yeah. There's some claws over there. In honor of the Claw and Antler Hat Night, no doubt. And so Mitch Moreland with a couple of RBIs, and the first 2 runs of the game have scored. There's the beautiful Claw and Antler Hat giveaway. Thanks to Fox Sports and Progressive for those. Oh, he's already got an autograph on his. Good for him.
All right. You know, Santana got the first 2 outs. Michael.
Yeah.
Flied out deep to right. Beltre popped up to right. Looked like a pretty harmless inning until Cruz and Murphy singled, a walk and a single. None of them cheap either. All of them didn't hit well.
31 pitches now in the inning for Santana.
When you hit ground balls, you have to have a little bit of luck, and the Rangers did. Cruz's ball just eluded Callaspo at third base, and Mitch's ground ball just eluded Izturis up the middle. Both of them hit well.
And the pitch to Chris Davis inside. One and 2 to Davis. And a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Chris, but the Rangers push 2 across the board and really make Santana work, and Mitch Moreland has 2 more RBIs added to the total. The Rangers leading it 2-0. That AT&T trivia question. Wondering about the only 2 players in Rangers history with 30 steals in each of their first 2 seasons. It's Elvis, and then you got to go all the way back to Cecil Espy in 1988 and 1989 as the 2. And we would like to welcome to the booth Mark McLemore. Good to see you again, Mac.
Good to see you guys back from the cold weather.
Man,
boy, we got some good stuff for you here.
Yeah, this is much better. We will take this every day of the week. We had this kind of breeze in a couple of our cities, but not this kind of warmth.
No, you guys look like you were freezing. I saw you brought the parkas out.
Yeah,
that was a good thing.
Yeah, if you dress for it, it's not too bad. And in New York, on the last day in New York, one of the support people, our stage manager Bobby, put a heater down there for us. So grounded to Elvis. And let's say hi to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, John. Couple of the Dallas Stars taking in the action tonight. Toby Peterson and Kari Lettinen. Now, Kari, you're from Finland, taking in your second Ranger game. What do you like about the great game of baseball?
It's exciting. You know, it took me a couple of years to get into it, but I like to come here and, you know, relax and watch some good baseball.
Toby, I thought he was going to say the beer and nachos, but I guess not. Are you teaching him anything?
That would have been a good answer, but his first question we sat down is which batters are most likely to hit a foul ball this way, right or left-handed? So I said, look out for the lefties.
There we go. Okay, well, guys, get your gloves out. You got your glove. Get it on. Get it ready. Get ready. Okay, and you're probably ready for a new head coach, too, huh?
Yeah, that'll, you know, we don't know when that decision will come, but, you know, we're excited to see who the new guy's going to be.
Yeah, you got your number one pick here?
I have no idea. We'll wait and see who's available.
There we go. All right. Go Rangers. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jim. Swing and a miss there. Sorry to see the Stars finish the season as they did. They were off to such a great start and then missed the playoffs, and now there will be a coaching change with them. Nice to see, though. Stars are big supporters of the team, the baseball team here. See Stefan Robita out here a lot. You a hockey fan at all, Mac?
I have not been, but I have been to a few games, and just going out to see them play gave me a whole different perspective and a whole different respect for hockey players.
Same thing happened to me. I agree with you.
I actually think they are probably the best athletes.
That one is solidly hit to the wall in left field, and there's the speedy Borges. He decides to stop at second base.
Yeah, the thing that I took away from it is pretty much what you're saying, Mac. It doesn't come across on TV how hard they play every second out there.
No, I mean, if you really think about it, you've got large men on ice, on skates, skating around with a stick, hitting a moving puck while somebody's trying to take them out.
Yeah.
That's skill right there.
At somewhere between
right.
35 and 40 miles an hour at times they get going.
That is true skill.
Yeah.
And the game is a lot faster in person than it is watching it on TV.
And, of course, if Kari brought his big goalie glove, he could catch any foul ball. That thing's a little bigger than your average baseball glove.
Now, how old is Kari?
I think Kari's 28. Yeah, he looks young, doesn't he? He's 27, 28.
Young-looking 28, boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a great goaltender. Stars feel like they've got a real keeper in him, and they kept him healthy this year, which was really one of the big question marks about him when they traded for him a year ago at the trade deadline.
Well, and they're smart, too, because as soon as he sat down, he wants to know, okay, who's going to hit a foul ball over here? He's ready.
Yeah.
And, you know, most people don't think about that, so that's a good one. That's a good sign.
He's ready to make a glove save. This one is grounded to Elvis, and there's another out. Moving over to third is Borges. But there are two away for Howie Kendrick. Good looking night here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, and boy, that heat is appreciated. Rangers players loving it. They didn't get in till like 5 in the morning. But somehow when it's sunny and warm, it's a little easier to wake up after a short night of sleep or a night of sleep on the airplane.
Mac, do you buy into the theory that it's the second night where you feel the tiredest, not the first?
Yes.
Some people say that. Do you find that to be true?
Definitely. Definitely the second day. Because that first day, you're back home and the adrenaline starts flowing. You're in nice weather and you're just pumped up, ready to play. But it's that second day that I think
Gotta
really
hit you.
hit you. Yeah.
Even if you go home and sleep 8 hours tonight?
Even if you go home and sleep, it's still gonna get you that next day.
Ian Kinsler retires Howie Kendrick with the help of Chris Davis, and the side's retired. Rangers still leading it 2-0 middle of 5. brought to you by Steel. For dependable trimmers and lightweight blowers, visit SteelDealers.com. And by Newegg.com. Join 14 million geeks already saving on electronics and more at Newegg.com. First pitch to Ian Kinsler there. And the 76th of the game for Irvin Santana is low for a ball. Mark McLemore still with us. Like to see the Rangers work somebody like Santana as they did last inning with like 35 pitches in the inning.
Well, it's great hitting by the Rangers. They're used to Santana. They know what he's trying to do to them, and they're just waiting him out and trying to take advantage of it.
That one's fair down the third base line for Ian Kinsler. He is rounding first and headed towards second. Rounding second and heading towards third. Slides safe at third base. Ian Kinsler with a triple to lead off the fifth inning.
A lot of Ranger fans cringing, Mac, watching that head-first dive into third base.
I don't think they want to see anybody go head first anymore.
Another good swing, though. The Rangers have put some good swings on Santana today. They've only had 2 runs, but they're swinging the bats a lot better than 2 runs. I don't think Santana's been quite as sharp as we've seen him in the past. Throwing a lot of hittable pitches inside the strike zone today.
Normally he's not that hittable, but
no.
The Rangers have done a tremendous job on waiting him out and getting a good pitch to hit.
Yep.
And now it's Elvis. See, this ball got away from Vernon Wells, but the time he tracked it down, Ian was headed for third base.
Ian's definitely one Ranger who's glad to be home. Struggled a little bit toward the end of the road trip. Well, they had a lot of good at bats. The hits weren't falling. He's come back and walked, doubled, and tripled.
Elvis had a single his last time up. And here comes Ian. With the squeeze play. Safe at home. And they overthrow the ball at first base. Elvis is headed towards second and he stays there.
That's one thing I love about Ron Washington. If you're the other manager, you don't have the slightest idea what he's going to do. You anticipate a squeeze play here and there, but I wasn't thinking squeeze play right there. How about you, Mac?
I wasn't at all. I'm thinking, okay, he's going to try and lift the fly ball to the outfield somewhere, but this is the perfect time for it. Perfect guy at the plate. Number 2 hitter can handle the bat. Gets it down, and lo and behold, he surprises everybody, including the defense.
Now the score is going to rule this. It's definitely at least a sacrifice and an RBI, but you might be able to get a base hit out of it. And then the error. See how close the play would have been at first. Yeah, I don't know if he would have had him at first anyway.
No, that should be a hit there.
And now it's Michael Young. So it's this is official, John. A single, an RBI, and then an error.
Good.
On the throw.
Good.
Yep.
In the course of a season, you don't see the squeeze play that often, but when you do, it's an exciting play.
It really is. You see that runner going. You sure want to see the hitter get his bat on the ball, and Elvis did that.
How many times, Mac, did you lay down a successful squeeze play?
I did.
Too many to count?
Too many to count. I did it a lot. And actually, a lot of my managers would even let me do it left-handed, and that's pretty unusual. Normally, you want a right-handed batter doing it because he shields the catcher, but I did it a lot of times left-handed.
Outside to make it 1-2 to Michael Young. Rangers with a 3-0 lead. They get a triple and then a squeeze play to squeeze Ian Kinsler home. Ian's still a little winded over there after the long run to third. And the quick trot home. And now Elvis is in scoring position.
If you're the runner at third, Mac, what's the key to the squeeze play?
You've got to try and go late. You can't go too early because then that pitcher can change where he throws the ball, number one. hit the guy in the box, so that runner at third base has to go back. So you want to wait until he gets that lead foot down, and once that foot's down, it's very difficult for him to change where he's going to throw the ball. But I think the toughest thing really is for the hitter getting a good pitch to bunt. You want to try to get a fastball to bunt. I know a lot of people think that, you know, or a lot of people say that bunting a curveball is easier than a fastball, but I don't agree with that, because it's not as hard, or it's harder to hit a curveball. So if it's harder to hit a curveball, it's going to be harder to bunt a curveball. Sure. It's on two planes. I'd much rather bunt a fastball because it's going to be right there.
Yeah. There was no stopping Ian at that point.
You just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page, because you don't want that right-hand hitter trying to swing the bat.
Sliced out to right field and just foul by Michael Young.
Basically, Mac, if the runner leaves at the right time and the hitter bunts it on the ground, you can't stop it.
No chance. No chance whatsoever. Doesn't matter where the infield is. If they're in, the corners are in. If the pitcher knows it's coming and you bunt it right back to him, if it hits the turf, that runner's going to be safe.
Yep, it's over.
Yeah, and the only question about that one was it popped up enough for Santana to get to it, and he wasn't able to get there. And then he made the errant throw. And this one's hit solidly into left field. Michael Young with a rip.
Boy, just teeing off on Santana.
They are getting some good pitches to hit, and they're not missing them. That's what you want. They're not missing a thing.
Were you stopping Elvis at third? Was that?
I was stopping Elvis. I was stopping Elvis at third.
You were giving him the stop sign up here.
Yes, it was. As fast as Elvis is, there are just some balls that you're not able to score on. And when you hit a scorcher like that, you one-hop an outfielder like Michael Young just did, or two-hop Vernon Wells, who's got a cannon. You got no outs. Middle of the order coming up. You've got some guys to work with coming up behind you.
Sure. And Michael just hit it so hard, it got out there so quickly.
That's one he probably would not have sent him even with two outs. Well, you're not going to get Michael out very often. You throw in that pitch, belt high and right out over the plate.
There you see the line for Santana, and he's not out of this inning yet. Nobody out. A swing and a miss by Beltre. Here's Elvis listening to Mark McLemore, who was putting the stop sign up. Maybe it was Dave Anderson's stop sign that he was obeying, but Mac was doing it every bit as lustily up here as Dave Anderson was down there. That one's hit high in the air to center field. Deep. And gone! A home run for Adrian Beltre! 3-run shot! And the Rangers have broken this thing open.
This earlier in the game. It doesn't matter how Beltre's going. You're going to have to make a good pitch to get him out. He just goes up there and he swings hard every single at bat. And if you make a mistake, he's going to hit the ball hard. He's hit the ball a lot better than his average would indicate. That's not a terrible pitch. It probably gets a little more of the plate than Santana wanted. Boy, if that ball in New York had stayed fair, he'd be on some kind of run right now.
Perfect timing by the youngster out there on Greens Hill. Watch this. He makes the run over, and he makes the catch. Yeah! Just on time. He didn't have to fight anybody for it, and he caught it in his glove. And the Rangers lead it 6-0. Pitching change coming. And you see there 6-0, and it's time for our Verizon Wireless call to the bullpen. And here's the report on Rich Thompson.
Thompson off to a nice start this year through 4 games.
Nobody out yet in the inning here, as the Rangers have chased Irvin Santana from this one. He had been off to a great start in the season. Nelly fouls that one off. But Santana allows 6 runs, all of them earned on 10 hits. Struck out 3 and walked 2 in 5 innings of work. He didn't retire a batter. Actually, in 4 innings, he didn't retire a batter here in the 5th. 90 pitches. And the Angels bullpen during the last 10 games has been very, very good. 1 run on just 11 hits in 28 2/3. 17 Ks. Make it 18 now as Nelly goes down on strikes.
Just about untouchable right there.
But here comes David Murphy.
The walks and the strikeouts don't look that great. The hits and the runs do.
Yeah, a few too many walks on that line, but other than that, it was a pretty good performance by that Angels bullpen. Like the team, they started off the season slowly, but they have found their stride. David hits it hard and in the hole to right field. Back-to-back singles for Murphy. And we go to Jim Knox.
All right, John, here he is, the Brown Hand Center. Good hands play. Trent, where are you from, Trent?
Duncan.
Okay, tell us what happened. Adrian Beltre, deep fly to center. What'd you do? Go up the stairs, over the rail?
Yeah, I had somebody in front of me, so I just went up, and just like I do in batting practice, go out there and catch the ball.
As you see, congratulations, Carl. Who's this, Grandpa? Yeah. Grandpa, he's on TV, huh? Pretty cool. Yeah, there we go. Great job. Great grab. Congratulations, John.
He was not going to be denied on that one.
No.
That's a story he's going to tell his grandkids there.
It's all about getting a good read on it from the stands out there.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I've seen big league outfielders not get that kind of jump.
I'll tell you what. He knew right where it was going and right where he was going.
Had his hands up, called for it, made the play.
Yeah, he's waving off the other little kids on Greens Hill. David Murphy at first base with 1 out. Rich Thompson to Mike Napoli, and this is trouble.
That's nice.
It's in for a base hit. Murph headed toward third. Mike Napoli is in at second base.
Well, sometimes when you've got this many hits in this short a time, you've had some cheap hits. That's the first blooper or soft hit. Everything else has been hit hard. I guess the bunt counts as a soft hit. But most of the base hits have been well hit.
Well, yeah, look at the reaction from his teammates. Give him a little bit of a hard time.
Corey Albert definitely has a good time playing baseball.
Boy, does he ever.
You know when a team starts getting hits like this, things are going well for him.
Yep. He'll take it.
They're probably telling him that's not claw worthy. He's like, hey, it's a hit.
It's a double.
Yep. I'm on second base. Where are you guys? 6-0 Rangers. They're way out in front is where they are. Four runs already in the inning.
Still only 1 out.
And Mitch Moreland at the plate. He had a 2-run single his last time up. Hits this one high and deep to right, but hooking foul.
And Mitch has got a quick bat, boy.
Nice short and quick.
He does. Nice short swing. Jumped on that inside pitch.
Puts a ball and a strike. Now Mitch steps out. And the 1-1 from Thompson.
You know, Mitch really reminds me a lot of Rusty Greer. Blue collar type kind of guy, comes to the ballpark, works hard, ready to play, not very flashy, but gets the job done day in and day out. Doesn't care about the fanfare, just wants to play baseball and play it well.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy.
Fouls that one back.
Neither one of them was a particularly high draft choice. They had to kind of earn their way every step of the way through the minor leagues. They became a better prospect every year. If Rusty's watching right now, he's saying, yeah, and you made me go back to Double-A 2 years in a row. Otherwise, I'd have one more year in the big leagues. I've heard that 20 times from Rusty.
He tells you that every time he sees you.
I tell him, hey, that's why you're such a good player. We gave you a little more seasoning.
That's the old school approach to developing a player. We do apologize for the technical difficulties. There has been a minor power outage down near the truck, and we realize as Mitch swings and misses at that one that the audio portion is all you are receiving right now, but we are working feverishly to bring the picture back, and so we'll try to give you a little bit more of a radio description of what's happening here. That was a swinging strike by Mitch Moreland, and the second out of the inning. Second strikeout by Nelson, or by Thompson, I should say. And here comes Chris Davis. He is the 9th batter of the inning for the Rangers. Texas has scored 4 runs in the inning. 3-run home run by Adrian Beltre. And the pitch from Thompson is fouled out of play. And at least up here the picture is back, so we're hoping that you too now are receiving the video portion of the telecast. 6-0 Rangers. Bottom of the 5th inning. And they are glad to be home. One and one now to Chris Davis. Ian Kinsler waiting on deck. Davis waiting on the pitch from Thompson. He kicks and fires. And that's inside for a ball. And now we've got the video portion. And you can see along with us that it's 2-1. Swung on and fouled by Chris Davis, who struck out both his previous times up in the 3rd and 4th. 3rd straight inning in which Chris Davis has hit. Rangers chased Irvin Santana from the game here in the 5th inning. He didn't retire a batter. And now C.J. Wilson, who's been sitting a long time, has a 6-0 lead to work with. Low for a ball to even things up. I'd rather to run it full at 3-2. There's the home run hitter, Adrian Beltre.
You know, Adrian and Michael Young have done a tremendous job since Josh has been out, picking up the slack for him. You know, you've got 2 veteran guys that understand they need some more, a little bit more production with Josh out of the lineup. Not that David Murphy is not a good offensive player, but they recognize the fact that they've got to step their game up a little bit, and they've done just that.
It's a great point. Michael had to move into a different spot in the batting order and doesn't miss a beat.
Beltre is leading the league in RBIs now.
And the payoff pitch swung on and blooped to the shortstop. That's Torres. And the side's retired, but the Rangers send 9 to the plate. Mark McLemore, thank you. We'll watch you on Rangers Live tonight. Adrian Beltre with a 3-run shot to straightaway center field. And the Rangers lead at 6-0. First Verizon Wireless Fireworks Friday of the season is this Friday when the Rangers host the Royals. Enter Verizon as the coupon code on TexasRangers.com to purchase $10 tickets in select seating areas. You'll also enjoy $5 cash parking and, of course, a post-game fireworks show. There's the man who hit the big ball in that bottom of the 5th inning. A 4-run frame for the Rangers, who now lead at 6-0, and Bobby Abreu steps in against C.J. Wilson. Abreu had a walk and a strikeout. Hits this one foul. Down the first base line and played by Alfredo Griffin.
Yeah, CJ made a couple of great pitches on Abreu. Last time up, 1 out, couple men on base. Threw him 2 sinkers down and in, one right after the other. He swung and missed at both of them. Yep.
There's strike 3.
Abreu was hoping to get the call, but he knew it was a strike.
Back-to-back strikeouts of Abreu after a walk in the first. And that's 7 on the night for CJ.
Yeah, by far the best stuff CJ's had this year. A good curveball right in the outside corner. He's had a little bit better velocity on his fastball, especially early. Good command of all his pitches.
Grounder right back to CJ. Off the glove, off the body, and then he makes the play to Chris Davis.
A couple of semi-long innings early, but he's got his pitch count in very manageable shape right now at 79 with 2 outs in the 6th inning. CJ hurt his hamstring in spring training, and while it wasn't really bothering him, he wasn't able to do all the leg work, conditioning work that he normally would do, cardio work. And while he was healthy enough to pitch, he just didn't feel like he had the power to push off with his legs like he normally does. And looks in that area a lot better tonight. Telly's feeling better.
He's such a guy who really knows his own body so well, and he knew he wasn't hurting, but he also knew he just couldn't find that extra power. He did the self-diagnosis. And this one's fouled back towards us, a little short of us. And it's 2-1. Vernon Wells had a single in the second inning. Grounded out to Elvis back in the fourth. Three and one now to the native of Arlington, Bowie High School. That one's fouled off the top of the Rangers dugout, or the Angels dugout, I should say, and they're ducking for cover over there.
It hit him?
Oh, maybe it wasn't the top of the dugout. Maybe it hit him on the nape of the neck there. Bounded quickly into the stands off of him. And this one is bounced back over the head of C.J. Wilson. Tough play for Ian Kinsler, and he's safe at first.
Yeah, Ian made that play as nicely as you could possibly make it. He had to run a long way to get it. It wasn't rolling, barehanded, made a great throw, but just didn't have the time to get Wells first base.
Yeah, one of those high choppers that just takes a long time to get to second. And it brings up Kai Aspo. C.J. Wilson working with a 6-0 lead. As you see the wind perhaps picking up just a little bit here. It's blowing some dust and debris around the infield. Inside. Evens it up at 1-1. CJ's at 88 pitches on the night. And this one is fouled off to make it a ball and 2 strikes. First of 10 in a row at home for the Rangers. First of 19 on the year against the LA Angels. High and away to make it 2-2. Rangers won the season series last year 10 games to 9. And the two teams enter tonight's game with identical records of 10 and 5. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and he got Kai Aspo.
CJ's got a little bit extra on his fastball today compared to the first 3 games.
8th strikeout of the game, and the Rangers lead at 6-0. and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Nancy Hill from DeSoto, and if a Ranger hits a grand slam in the inning, Nancy Hill will win $25,000. Top of the order, and Ian Kinsler to start things off for Nancy Hill. Ian's hit the ball hard twice. 2 for 2 on the night. A walk and then a double and a triple. He was the first batter of the last inning, too. Swing and a miss. He started that 4-run rally. That has the Rangers out in front 6-0. That one's fouled out of play. 26-year-old Thompson is from Australia. Calls Sydney home now, although he was born in Hornsby, Australia. So I guess we should say good day, mate, to Rich Thompson. Ian hits this one high and deep to left field, but not quite deep enough. And let's say hi to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, John. Hey, big birthday tonight. Marion Leslie turned 94 years young. She's a big-time baseball fan. Saw Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth play. What were those guys like?
Oh, Lou Gehrig was a doll. Babe Ruth was fine.
He had a little attitude, I heard. You told me earlier, but we'll go with that. Big-time Ranger fan now. Who's your favorite players?
Hamilton and Young.
Yeah, good choice there. Okay, what are you going to do after the game? Any big plans, Marion?
Yes, I'm going to paint the town red. Ranger red.
There we go. All right, well, happy 94. Way to go. How about that?
Wow, that's awesome.
Those are favorite players. That's great.
That's great, Noxie. Thank you very much. Love to see her out here, 94 years young and hanging out at the ballpark. Really nice crowd here for a Monday night as the Rangers come back home from a long road trip. Boys of summer are back, and boy, are they glad to be back home, as the 6-0 score would indicate. Elvis has back-to-back singles. Ron Washington was asked before the game about if there was any thought to changing things up at the top of the order with Ian and Elvis both struggling. And again, one of the things these guys just love so much about Ron Washington, he was just incredulous. No. Those guys are going to hit. There's no question in my mind. Those guys are going to hit. They're in a little downturn. They're going to hit, and boy, have they rewarded him tonight. Elvis strikes out there. And let's go to Emily Jones.
Well, guys, as we all know, Michael Young swinging a very hot bat of late and fitting in quite nicely in that 3-hole left vacant by Josh Hamilton. Michael says it's less about where he's batting in the lineup and more about where he's batting during the course of a game.
The situation of the game dictates my approach for that particular at-bat. And if nobody's on, I'm trying to get on base. If there's guys out there, I'm trying to have a good at-bat, hopefully knock them in. But for the most part, I try and keep things the same wherever I'm hitting.
It's all about taking what the game gives you, Michael says. Sounds a lot like his manager, guys.
Yeah, it really does, Emily. And Michael's approach is so consistent. Perhaps that's why he's such a consistent hitter. He approaches each at-bat as the game would dictate. Emily played 9 holes of golf today, the Colonial Media Day, and then had to come to work. Guess who hit a hole-in-one at Colonial Media Day?
Well, I already know, but go ahead.
Rick Renner.
Congratulations, Rick.
Renner aced number 16 at Colonial with a 7-iron today. So congratulations to you, Rick. It's like everybody's dream. It's the media tournament at Colonial. So in front of all your friends and colleagues I think it's his first ace, but any ace in front of all your friends and colleagues, pretty fun. Swing and a miss by Michael Young. And Thompson gets the side in order. A couple of strikeouts in the frame, but the Rangers still lead it 6-0. With a triple right down the line, the third baseline. He's in there, and then the squeeze from Elvis Andrus brings him home. 3-run home run by Adrian Beltre, and the Rangers have a 4-run inning. And there's your Corona line score. A 4-run fifth inning told the tale of a 6-0 lead. And C.J. Wilson is back out there. His 92nd pitch of the night is a little low for a ball. He has struck out the rookie Trumbo twice. And now there's more action out there in the Angels bullpen. Jason Bolger. Trumbo pops this one foul and out of play. Rangers chased Santana in the 5th. And you take a look at the comparison of the two starters tonight, and there is no comparison. Irvin Santana looked pretty good earlier in the year, but the Rangers really were hitting him even before they started scoring lots of runs. They were hitting him pretty well tonight. The 3-1 pitch is grounded towards Elvis. Throw to Chris Davis, and there's one away.
Trumbo helped him out right there. Anxious to hit with a 3-1 count. Swung at ball 4.
And here comes the catcher, Jeff Mathis. Guy who had previously split time with Mike Napoli at that catching position. Mike, of course, played 67 games at first base for the Angels last year after Kendrys Morales broke his leg on that walk-off celebration.
I think the Angels hoped that Morales would be back by now.
Yeah. Yeah, the word I hear is that he is, at this point, not even running the bases yet. He started to, or maybe I think the next step for him is to start cutting and turning on that surgically repaired ankle.
You talk about guys getting hurt with a head-first dive. Look at some of those celebrations at home plate.
Yeah.
You don't expect to get hurt, but got big guys jumping up and down all over each other. Someone's bound to step on somebody.
Almost surprising that it doesn't happen more often.
Exactly.
That one's in there to make it 2-2. to the 8th place man, Jeff Mathis. And he loops this one into right field, down in front of Mitch Moreland. And it's a 1-out single. So it brings up Peter Borges. He came into the game in the midst of a 5-for-30 skid, but Borges is 2 for 2 on the night with a single back in the 3rd inning and a double in the 5th.
Hey, he swung the bat well. Hard hit ball to right, hard hit ball to left. Good athlete. Angels have one of the best position player prospects in the minor leagues, Mike Trout. Another kid about the same size who can really run. Tremendous offensive potential. Very athletic.
And that is strike 2 from C.J. Wilson to Borges. C.J.'s just crossed the 100 pitch threshold. He's at 103. 67 of them for strikes on the night. And Borges is down on strikes.
Got the little, you can see how much a little extra, a little more power on your fastball can make a big difference. The fastball today has set up his other pitches, and CJ now through 6 2/3 has struck out 9 batters through the fastball by Borges right there.
And he starts Izzy off with a strike. Myceris Torres. There's another strike called. C.J. Wilson now has the most strikeouts of any starter this season for the Rangers. Matt Harrison had the high at 8. C.J.'s at 9 and thought maybe he had 10 there.
Could have been.
Yeah, it was very close. Steele with the presentation of our tracker tonight. And this one is grounded through the hole and into center field. Second hit of the night for Torres. And it'll bring up Howie Kendrick. Mike Maddox headed out to the mound to have a chat with CJ, Rangers pitching coach. And Mike Napoli and C.J. Wilson with a quick chat. C.J.'s at 108 pitches. 9 strikeouts on the night.
No one warming up in the bullpen right now.
No.
C.J. still throwing the ball fine. Not showing any signs of fatigue.
There you see that 4th and 5th inning. 11 and 12 pitches were really good. The 2nd inning with 12 as well. But they've all been pretty good. No score on the board for the Angels.
Now they're going to start moving around out in the bullpen. Darren O'Day.
Now it's 2 balls and no strikes to Howie Kendrick. He had a double in the 1st inning. Strikeout and a ground out since then. As there you see the side-arming righty Darren O'Day. Fouled away to make it 2-1. All-time, Kendrick is a .333 hitter against C.J. Wilson, and that's right where the average would be tonight. 1 for 3. Just inside for a ball, and it's 3-1.
Kendrick's not an easy guy to walk. If there's one knock against him offensively, it's that he doesn't walk very much. He's only walked 48 times in the last 2 years. So while he's almost a lifetime 300 hitter, his on base percentage is only 327.
Jeez. And the 3-1 pitch. Hit into center field past a leaping Ian Kinsler, and that'll be the first run of the game for the Angels. So they're now at first and second, a run in, and Bobby Abreu coming to the plate for Mike Scioscia's team. Rangers' lead has been trimmed to 6-1. And Elvis and Ian with a quick bit of encouragement for CJ. 107, roughly 108 pitches a start so far. Everybody would like to see CJ get this final out of the 7th inning. He's gotten Abreu on strikes twice in a row. In the 3rd inning swinging, back in the 6th. He got him looking. Kendrick on first base. Torres is down at second. And that's a little low and away for a ball. Bobby Abreu walked twice in a game on the 3rd of April and had 5 hits. So he reached base 7 times against the Royals on April the 3rd, back in the first series of the season. Series that didn't go well for the Angels, but that was a good day for him. Another high one for a ball to make it 2-0.
It was a lefty-lefty matchup. This probably at 115 pitches will be CJ's last hitter. Darren's warmed up and ready to go. You've got Torrey Hunter, right-hand hitter, the next hitter.
And Abreu hits this one into right field. Mitch Moreland makes the play, and the side is retired. The Angels get a run, but CJ walks off with the gate of a winner. 6-1 Rangers in stretch time in Arlington. Your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. Rangers with a 6-1 lead now on a lovely night at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. And we remind you that next Monday, the Rangers host the Blue Jays, and all fans will receive an Adrian Beltre t-shirt, compliments of Sweet Baby Ray's. Tickets available at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS as Adrian Beltre steps in against the new pitcher, Jason Bolger. See his numbers. Third outing of the year, a few too many walks. And you saw that stutter step by Adrian Beltre that we saw a few times on the road trip. That's the indication that he wanted to swing at that one. And he does swing at that one. He hits it high and deep to left. But on the warning track and making the catch out there is Vernon Wells.
Yeah, it looked like the wind to center field might have helped Adrian's ball a little bit. Looked like it might have knocked that one down a little bit.
You can tell it's getting even windier out here tonight. That's the classic knee shot.
That's a follow through that you won't see very often right there. A lot of us would take that swing and be unable to get up and run.
This one's high, but not very deep. Medium deep, right center field. And it's Torrey Hunter.
Carries pretty well out there to right center field.
So there are two away. And here comes David Murphy. He's got back-to-back singles. Scored a run in the fourth inning. And he got that average up to 353. Murph is Ron Washington's center fielder tonight. And now he's ahead of Bolger. 2-0. There's a strike called to make it 2-1 to David. Who's now 7 for his last 18. He's hit safely in 7 of 10 games. And his last 10 hits have all been singles. That's a strike called. And it'll run things full at 3-2. David had 5 hits against the Angels last September. On September the 20th, he tied a career high with 5 hits. And this one is popped up. Foul and out of the reach of Callaspo.
Darren O'Day continuing to throw out in the bullpen. Looks like he'll come in to pitch the 8th inning.
Ron Washington mentioning again today that a couple of these younger guys, of which O'Day is still considered one, need to step up. He can't be relying on Arthur Rhodes and Darren Oliver in every single 8th inning situation. So good to see Darren O'Day get a chance at that tonight. Walk to David Murphy. Mike Scioscia looks like he's not so sure. It'll bring up Mike Napoli. Wash says he's liked what Strop and Tobin have done. Just can't trust them in all situations yet, but he keeps trying to put them in situations to get them the experience they need.
Yeah, they're both showing signs of being able to do the things Wash wants them to do, but it's early in the year, and I think as time goes on, they continue to throw the ball the way they are. They can earn more and more opportunities.
Mark Lowe got sent down today. He'll spend some time at AAA Round Rock. Michael Kirkman, you saw in the shot there, sticking around. And Mike Napoli grounding to short. To second for the easy one. And the side's retired. 6-1 Rangers. Here comes Darren O'Day. Wilson, 7 innings pitched. He allows 1 run on 9 hits. The run was earned. Only walked 1, and he struck out 9 tonight. 116 pitches for CJ, and 74 of those were thrown for strikes.
And the biggest difference for CJ tonight was the power was back in his fastball tonight. And that certainly set up all the other pitches, which were pretty sharp as well. Only 1 walk to Abreu. And then he struck him out a couple of times. Good start. Good solid start for CJ. Now bullpen has to come in and put the finishing touches on it. Starting right now in the 8th inning with Darren.
You see Darren's numbers. His 6th appearance of the year. He'll start with Torrey Hunter. And he starts him off with a strike. I talked to Mark Lowe before he headed off to Round Rock today, and he said, look, if they gave me the chance to pitch 30 games up here all year and just mostly sit around and not get any work. Hunter hits that one to Ian, who just can't quite hold on.
Now, Ian made a great try for that ball. He turned his back to the ball, sprinted, lunged, and just couldn't keep it in his glove.
Another classic case of a guy looking at the big video screen. That's what you saw Ian looking up at with the smile.
Turned all the way around, just couldn't quite keep it in his glove.
Yeah, it was about to be a spectacular play. And as it is, Hunter's on first base. And there's a strike to Vernon Wells. But Lowe said if he could be up here all year and pitch 30 times or be in the minors and pitch 60 times, he'd take the minors. He has a real good attitude about it. Says he's got just a couple of things he needs to go work on. Remember, he did have back surgery last June, so he's still coming back from that. And this one's grounded to Beltre, to Kinsler, to Davis, safe at first base. Close play at first, but Wells just beats it out.
Yep, emphatic safe call by Dale Scott at first base. Vernon obviously still runs well.
And it'll bring up Callaspo. He's 0 for 3 tonight as he takes a first pitch strike from Darren O'Day. He came into the game with a .453 record on the road. That was third in the American League, although it'll go down some tonight with the 0 for. Especially if Darren can get him here. 1 on and 1 out. And the Rangers leading it 6-1. Inside for a ball. As for Kirkman, Ron Washington says he could use Michael in any number of situations here at the big league level. He could be a lefty long man, could come in for an inning here or there, and he could come in as a specialist.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons they're comfortable keeping Michael, probably the main reason, is how well he did in that role last year late in the season in a pennant race.
Yeah.
He was very effective out of the bullpen for a kid that had never done it before.
Yeah, with the bright spotlight of a pennant race on you and a young guy like that, he really rose to the challenge. Good pitch from Darren. There's Michael. Right there with Arthur Rhodes and Mason Tobin flanking him. That one's inside. So it's 3-2 to Callaspo. Runner at first base is Vernon Wells. And the payoff pitch is hit right at Ian.
That'll work.
And that is a pretty easy double play. And the side is retired. Good work by Darren O'Day. Bottom of the 8th on the way.
ready. Back at the ballpark in Arlington, we head to the bottom of the 8th. It's all Rangers 6-1 against the Angels. And John and Tom, you know, it's time for the Progressive fan of the game. It is Progressive night here at the ballpark. 150 employees on hand, having a good time. Cap night along with Fox Southwest. So it's only fitting we announce the Progressive fan of the game. It's Kevin from England, right? England! Heading back to England tomorrow. He's a golf pro for the TPC course. Here's the bag. Here's the hat. What do you have to say, Kevin?
You gotta love Texas. You gotta love baseball. The Rangers are lovely jubbly. Go day, oh day, oh day, oh day, oh day.
Good day, mate. Joke there.
That was better. One of the better fans of the day.
Yeah, I think he said the Rangers are lovely jubbly. I don't exactly know. I'm sure that's a very common phrase in Great Britain. Say it about cricket players over there all the time, I'm sure. But good work, Noxie. And that guy can't sing at all, but I love his enthusiasm.
Like the effort.
Yep, absolutely. 1-1 to Mitch Moreland, and that one's inside to make it 2 balls and a strike. Mitch had that 2-run single back in the 4th inning to start the scoring for the Rangers. And that one's outside to make it 3-1. Mitch hits this one high in the air. Deep to right center field, headed toward the Rangers bullpen and in, and then out of the Rangers bullpen, but it's a home run for Mitch Moreland.
Well, when you hit it to that part of the ballpark, it definitely carries compared to the one that Adrian hit to left field. That ball got up in the air and just kept on going. Mitch gave it a ride, and 407, 410, 412, whatever it ended up, puts another run on the board for the Rangers. Looked like he hit it off the end of the bat.
It did.
Hit it well enough to go 400 feet, though.
And now it's Chris Davis.
Just keeps going and going and going.
Borges thought he had a play on it, but was just a little bit out of his reach. And it's 4-10. Bounced hard off something there in the bullpen and then back out onto the field to play. And it gives the Rangers a 7-1 lead. CD's 0 for 3 on the night. Looking for his first hit of 2011. In his first start after a torrid spring training. And a great start to the year at AAA. He fouls that one back to even things up at 2-2. Rangers have had a share of first place every day of the year, 17 straight days. And they haven't actually been in second place in the American League West since June the 7th of last year. Another foul from Chris Davis. So it'll stay 2-2. This is a 10-game, 11-day homestand for the Rangers. They're off on Thursday. So it's 10 games in 11 days. It's one of 2 of those that we'll have here at the ballpark this year. The other one's at the end of August into the first day of September. And this one's off to as good a start as you could possibly want against a divisional foe. Swing and a miss. Davis is out after the put out.
And that at bat, Chris got a couple of good pitches to hit, had good swings, but fouled them off. And then got the breaking ball down in the dirt.
Hey, baseball fans, Chevy is a proud sponsor of youth baseball leagues in your community. Go to ChevyYouthBaseball.com for a chance to win a home field makeover. There's one of those candidates for youth baseball with that snappy claw and antler hat. And here comes Ian. Former winner of the Tom Grieve Minor League Player of the Year Award back in 2004, Ian Kinsler. An established major leaguer now. And there you see what the Rangers see from the far end of the dugout anyway. The 2-0 pitch to Ian Kinsler. Inside for a ball, and it's 3-0. A walk, a double, a triple, and then a fly out in the 6th inning by Ian.
Yeah, the one he flied out to left on, he just hit off the end of the bat a little bit. Went to the warning track, though.
Takes that one for a strike to make it 3-1.
Ian's already hit for the cycle once in his career.
Yeah.
Probably won't have a chance to hit enough tonight, but he's got the double and the triple.
And another walk, his 2nd of the night. Pedro Strop out there in the Rangers bullpen, getting ready to replace Darren O'Day perhaps in the 9th inning. But first, there's that little matter of the bottom of the 8th with Elvis Andrus stepping up. He's now got hits in 3 straight games, 2 of them so far in this one with a couple of singles. And an RBI in the 5th. The RBI on that squeeze play that was executed so perfectly and scored Ian Kinsler. Time is called. Yeah, that 1st and 2nd place hitters having an awfully good night. And this is another hit for Elvis Andrus. 3 singles on the night for him. Ian's at 2nd. And now it's Michael Young.
And I think when Elvis is really swinging the bat well, this is what he's doing. Getting on top of the ball, hitting line drives, a couple of good pitches to hit. Lining the ball back through the middle, hit it where it's pitched.
Wow, look at that. Kind of a yellow moon tonight in the...
I thought it was made out of Swiss cheese. That's more like cheddar cheese right there.
American cheese. Rangers just 1 hit away from tying the season high. They've had 15 hits in a game. They're at 14 right now.
Rangers have had a lot of good at-bats in this game. They've laid off, for the most part, tough breaking balls. They made the Angel pitchers get the ball up. And when they've had good pitches to hit, they haven't missed many of them tonight. They had 14 hits in the game, and a lot of the outs have been pretty well hit, too.
And a 2-0 pitch to Michael Young. Swung on and popped up. Trumbo back and can't quite catch up to it. Like he was stutter stepping the wall a little bit.
Yeah, I think he definitely had the wall on his mind. It turned out he wasn't that close to it.
No.
He wasn't sure where the wall was, and he did get a little tentative toward the end there. See him look down.
Couldn't quite reach it. And so Michael stands in again with a 2-1 count. That's a strike to him to make it 2-2. Rangers are the only team in the major leagues with no losses at home yet this year, and looking to extend that streak to 7 straight at Rangers Ballpark. And the 2-2 to Young. Grounded towards second. Back to short. And over to first. Out at first base. A double play, and the side is retired. Michael's not so sure about it. Mitch Moreland with a home run that got into the Rangers bullpen to lead off the 8th inning and give the Rangers a 7-1 lead. And a new Rangers pitcher and some defensive changes to start here in the 9th inning. There you see Pedro Strop. 5th outing of the year for him. Opponent's hitting less than 100 off of him. And he starts Trumbo off with a strike. David Murphy has moved over to left field, his more customary position. Nelly Cruz has moved over to right, his more customary position. And Julio Bourbon is now in center field.
Yeah, the interesting part of the game with CJ pitching and getting a lot of ground balls, there weren't many balls hit to the outfield.
Now Julio gets one and chases it down, and the decision works for Ron Washington as we say hi to Dana Larson at the Rangers live set.
John, we've got the post-game show coming up in just a bit. Lots to do to wrap up the first of 19 against this division rival. Mark McLemore will be with me. Emily Jones will be in the clubhouse. We will also talk about Colby Lewis, who is back in the rotation after the birth of his second child. And we'll get you ready for Mavs Trailblazers Game 2 coming your way tomorrow. That is all coming up right after the game. We hope to see a lot of these hats behind us, the Fox Sports Claw and Antler hats. We know there will be plenty of people behind us sporting these, so we're looking forward to it. John, back to you.
Yeah, Dana, thank you very much. I'm sure you will have a good crowd and an enthusiastic one on Rangers Live tonight. The set is over there between sections 9 and 10 on the main level of Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Next time you're out here, stop by and say hi. Jeff Mathis had a single and scored a run his last time up. Scored the only run of the game for the Angels. And now he lines it into right field, and Nelly's there to catch that sinking liner. And boy, this outfield realignment has worked out pretty well.
Yeah, Nelly got an excellent jump on that ball. It was a shot hit by Mathis, a low line drive. Nelly didn't hesitate.
And the Angels are down to their last gasp here with Peter Borges, the 9th place hitter. Single, a double, and a strikeout for him on the night as he faces Pedro Strop.
Strop is a guy I know Ron Washington would love to see him develop into a successful late inning guy to kind of take the burden off the bullpen that Ogando left when he went into the rotation. Ogando did such a nice job late in the ball game. Next Strop pitches like that, 8 pitches, 3 outs. He'll be moving up the chain.
In the air to Nelly Cruz, and there you go, boys. Rangers get the victory. A 7-1 win over their bunkmates from the American League West. The 2-game losing streak is over. The Rangers are glad to be back home, where they've won 7 straight games. Mitch Moreland hit a home run. So did Adrian Beltre. And C.J. Wilson pitched great on this night to get the Rangers a victory. The Rangers win it 7-1. And Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. By the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. Rangers are 7-0 at home. And we come back to